Check, check.
There you go. You should do more things on microphones.
I need to.
You do. You should do like either your own podcast.
I had one.
Oh, you did?
A guy, Francis Carr, I don't think you were here when he moved away, but he and I did a science fiction podcast called Blurred Runner. We did 2 of them, but they had to be edited down, but then things got pretty tight for him during COVID, so he had to bounce.
Oh, that sucks.
And his voice, yeah.
Even more Earl James Jones than yours.
Earl James Jones? Who is that? James
Wait.
Earl Jones?
Oh, James Earl Jones. Yeah. See, my dyslexia can come out anywhere. Well, Kirkland, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having.
Yeah. So this is Ducking Reality. This is where we talk about the shit that we talk about. Like,
Okay.
It's basically the same shit we talk about at the bar or
but no
on our
names.
walks.
But no names.
Sometimes. That's probably safer.
I'm going with no names.
Yeah.
Good
That
Lord.
keeps everything easier.
Yeah.
And then it also is funny to see who thinks it's about them.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. People.
So you and I met at the fire. You were one of the first person I ever met at the fireside.
Right. It was after we hosted trivia.
And I wasn't there for that
You weren't
part.
there for that part, but the bar had pretty much cleared out.
Yeah,
it was just Christopher, the bartender, and myself.
No, it was Mitch.
Mitch?
It was you, me, and Mitch.
How about that? And that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
We're not mentioning that guy's name.
That he who shall not
One
be named.
who shall remain nameless.
I saw him the other day, and
Recently the other day?
yeah, he was pulling into Safeway parking lot,
Wow.
and I was returning my cart, and we didn't like cross each other, but I was like,
You
oh,
recognized
that's him.
And he didn't see you.
He must have, but he didn't attempt to. But I was like, I sat in my car for a minute and was like, should I slash his tires?
No vandalism, young lady.
No, I'm too mature and like my freedom and
Right on. Don't you believe in karma too?
yeah, that
I
too.
do. Yeah.
But just the thought of it was so
Satisfying?
satisfying.
Right on. I have such thoughts as well. It
Yeah.
would be nice too, but I can't.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you would get in more trouble.
That has suppressed me from a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A lot of trouble. There have been people who've been asking me to give them a couple of punches or the beat down since I got here, but I can't do it.
No.
I try to open, this will sound kind of cliche, I try to be the most polite person ever.
You are one of the most polite people ever.
When it's not received, I got to get away from that situation.
Yeah.
I work at bars. People get drunk. People get silly. I can talk you down. I've done it as a doorman at Fireside, but
Yeah.
I got too old for that stuff,
Yeah.
especially after COVID.
Well, it's like Donna, and I'll just name her because she doesn't give a shit. She when someone comes at her, she comes right back at them. Like,
Twice as hard.
Yeah, and she's like and she's always like, how do you, like, you come in so soft? And I'm like, because if I came in where you come in, where do I go from there? Like,
Right.
I don't want to hit someone. I don't want to. And she's like, I will. I'm like, I know you will.
Let's
and
describe Donna.
She is feisty, beautiful, blonde.
Ding. Beautiful blonde.
Yeah.
How many beautiful blondes do you know who suffer repercussions for going off on people?
Oh,
0.
zero. Yeah.
How many black guys do you know who suffer repercussions for trying to settle things down?
Oh, a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah, and I don't think people. I know I sometimes will not forget. Yeah, I guess forget is the right term, even though it sucks. Like what privilege I walk around with. I try to be cautious of it, and but there are times that it's not the life I've lived, so I don't. It's not my first thought.
No one who has to live that way thinks about that.
Right, but I think we need to.
I agree.
Yeah.
We need to. Someone asked me in 2020 during the Black Lives Matter movement, what can I do as a white person? Tell another white person that when you say all lives matter, it can't be truth because black guys don't get due process.
Right.
If everybody got due process, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So tell people about that. Did they do it? I don't know. It was a t-shirt fad. I'm serious. It was a fucking t-shirt fad.
I had one T-shirt and I had one tank top that said like Black Lives Matter, and I had it on, and I mean I believe all like no nothing that has happened should have happened,
Right.
in so many different ways.
Yep.
But I didn't. Someone gave me a T-shirt because they knew I was like an ally, and I'm like great. But I always felt weird wearing it.
Yep.
'Cause I shouldn't have to wear it.
You shouldn't have. It shouldn't be a thing.
And then I had it on one day, and I was somewhere getting coffee, and some big black guy looked at me and was like, "Thank you." And I was like, "Yeah, but I wish I didn't have to wear it." And I haven't worn it since that day. Because as much as like he was trying
You
to,
can't wear it now. It was a fucking fad.
right? And that's even the more terrible thing.
It is horrible.
Like,
that is horrible.
And people are like, but it's better now. No, it's not better now.
Oh my God, because you had a march or two?
Yeah.
Grow up. This is what bothers me about the whole thing. People were asking me during that time, hey, Kirk, you going to march with us in the Black Lives Matter thing? Bitch, I've been telling you this for the last decade. We are equal, and it shouldn't be a question. Right. But now you want me to march? Fuck off. You didn't think about me 2 weeks ago before the shit happened. You're not thinking about me now?
Right.
Fuck off. Nah.
I hate that.
I'm for the march. I'm for the movement, but get out of my face with that crap.
Yeah.
You'll just ignore me next time you see me unless you see me at the bar.
That's terrible.
I got a little tense there. Sorry.
No, but that's all right. No, and I like it because it's maybe a perspective people don't hear enough. Or white people don't hear enough. I know black people hear it plenty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in getting to be friends with you more and more and getting, like, you've become one of my confidants, if you will. Mm-hmm. We talk about a lot of deep shit. And to understand how it does penetrate every layer of every relationship that you have with a non-black person.
All
and
day
even
long.
sometimes some of the black
even
people.
Even before the movement. All day long.
And
all day long. Anybody, actually. Also, I've been thinking about this as I'm getting older. I'm going to be 58 in December. Mm-hmm. I don't need a lot of people in my life. I don't. It'd be nice to have one nice lady and that's it, but let's go therapeutic. People fucking suck.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not be around them. I don't mind being at home. I don't mind staying home. I can entertain myself all day with drawing, video gaming, writing, all day long. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the walls do close in. I got to get out.
Right.
Also, pain. People think if you're out in the streets, you're not in pain. They see me limping, but they make a joke of it or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the joke is okay. Sometimes, fuck off. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm using all this to say, I just don't need to be around people because of my perspective on this whole thing. On life, I guess. I don't know. COVID changed a lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of shit. This country has totally changed under the last president.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that Band-Aid needed to be ripped off so you can see your enemy right in front of you. I don't want people to be an enemy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you'd rather know up front.
I'd rather know up front than get stabbed in the back. At least stab me in my eye so I can see it coming.
Right.
Yeah. I learned that at Fireside when those guys were in my face when I asked them to wear their mask beneath their chins outside. One guy on a Friday, a different guy on a Saturday. The next Friday, a different guy. Next Saturday, a different guy. All four were white guys.
Of course.
They didn't know each other. I'm just saying. It happened in a pattern. I had to get that job up. I was 56 years old at that time. What am I going to do? Punch a guy in the face? Because get out of here. Yeah. No, and plus, you know that bar.
Yeah.
Not a lot of black guys go there.
No. We don't have a huge... Other than when we have certain musicians come and play, we don't have a very diverse crowd. I mean...
It's true.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we have some like regulars that are of different, but not a huge black...
Not a huge black population.
No.
Yep. When I was working there as a door person, let's say 2017, 2018, there'd be some nights, I'm going to use this story. This is a real story. We had 12 black people come in. They were all together. And a girl who used to be a regular there came up to me and said, Kirk, what do you think? Do you think something's going to pop off? I said, it's undoubtedly going to pop off. We had to think about that with our own people.
Right.
Did something happen? I regret to inform you that yes, it did. But they took it outside and kept it quiet.
Right.
If you didn't see their faces, you would have just said, oh, they left kind of in a huff.
Yeah.
But yes, something did pop off. But they were professional about it. It's so funny. Oh my God, it's funny. Another reason I like to stay home.
Yeah. I actually don't mind staying home. Like the COVID thing kind of helped me ease back into society in a way.
Yeah.
Because I had been kind of home for so long after my injury.
Uh-huh.
And then some nights I really like to be around people. And other times when I'm out at the bar, like sitting on the bar side,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, don't talk to me. Like random guys or whatever. I'm like, I'm here with my friend, just trying to talk to them, like hang out. Like
it's funny how guys don't care about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had a guy the other night. I was standing at the end of the bar and I had just gotten off work. I'd gone down to like say hi to Pep and I'm texting with someone and we're in like a good text conversation. So it's like I'm texting like threads, you know?
Yeah.
And this guy walks up and just starts like talking to me about my sweater. And I look at him and I was like, and I kind of gave him a smile and looked back at my phone. And he said something again. And I looked at him and I said, can you just give me a minute? I'm just in the middle of something. And he stood there, and I could basically feel him tapping his foot. Like, I don't know if he actually was, but you know that feeling.
Like,
and he was
where
just
he's counting
staring
down.
at me.
Yeah.
And I'm just texting, and I look up to kind of like look up to the sky to think of the word I want to use. And he like I can see him out of the corner of my eye. Go to start talk to me again. I like go back down to my phone, and I'm finishing my thoughts. And he again says something to me, and I was like, "Listen, guy, I'm just trying to get this out of my head. Give me just a minute. I have no idea who this guy is or what he wants." Like he started by saying something about my sweater. Like
God. Okay, so when you were texting and you're telling him, dude, I'm almost there. What happened when you eventually finishing?
Well,
the text?
as the second time, I was like, just give me a minute, dude. He stood there for like 3 more seconds, and then all of a sudden, he's like, "You fucking cunt," and he walks away.
He did that.
Yeah,
that was his.
And I'm like, what? No,
Didn't do
this
anything.
is why you don't get laid, guy. Like, I don't owe you anything.
I was going to mention how people think people owe them something.
Yep.
But I kind of am that too because I felt like people owed politeness because politeness was giving, but nobody owes you shit.
No.
Nobody, not even politeness, sadly.
No. I think you should. I think like common courtesy has somehow disappeared.
Yes.
Like why?
I feel like it was a thing.
Yeah. I feel it like helped so much in the world.
How old are you?
42.
So you were raised with common courtesy.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Manners were a huge thing.
That's
where
right.
We're from.
That's right.
You
Mind
always
your
say
manners.
please and thank you. Yep.
Please and thank you.
You hold a door for a stranger.
And you keep your trap shut unless spoken to.
Yep. I mean, I was also raised as a kid that was kids were to be seen and not heard.
Yeah, likewise. That's what they said. My parents said the same thing. Well, my dad did.
Yeah.
Seen and not heard. Good Lord. I'm surprised we're not fucked up. You should see me shake my head left to right while I do that.
Like a bobble doll.
Like a bobblehead.
So, Kirk, have you always lived in the Bay? So tell us, give us your little origin story.
Okay. Born in Detroit in 64, December 24, 64.
Christmas baby.
Coming up. And I got a twin sister. And I have 2 older sisters, but one died in March of 2001 due to lupus. Oh. She was born with cerebral palsy. Our second oldest sister has sickle cell. I have sickle cell. And my twin sister, no diseases at all. Just a little overweight.
Good.
Or maybe a lot overweight. I don't know. I grew up in Detroit. Detroit is blue collar city. Detroit and Oakland are very, very similar, except for no snow in Oakland. Blue collar. Everybody is hard edged. Don't fuck with people from Oakland. Don't fuck with people from Detroit. And you'll get along. Detroit, like Oakland, has downtown or midtown. And midtown for Oakland is uptown. That's where everybody gets together, has a good time, and then they all go back to their respective circles. Detroit has a place called Beantown, which is for Boston, Mexican Town, Greek Town, Brick Town. Everybody of separate races lives in those segments. But when people hang out midtown and downtown, they all come together, and then they go back home. Same with Oakland, West Oakland, East Oakland. They hang out at uptown, then they go back to their separate spots. The lake is a common area for Oaklanders. The riverfront is for Detroit. I'm telling you, they're the same city.
Oh, wow.
So.
They don't sound that far off from Boston either.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess all cities might be the same, huh?
It's probably.
Yeah.
People aren't that different.
They're not that different. Mm-mm. That's right. Because they all suck equally.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I was building up trying to build an art career in Detroit, but it's so blue collar there. I just didn't know the connections. And I got a good chance an opportunity to come and visit San Francisco, where my best friend and his wife lived. I had grew up with that guy. I known him since 1975. I knew her, and I met her when they got together in 1983. They said, come out to California, just kick it with us for a couple weeks and see what you think. So her best friend gave me her open passage round trip ticket. And I said, I don't know how to pay you back for this. I was broke as fuck.
Yeah.
And she said, don't come back. So we got here. I found a job living with them in a little 1-bedroom apartment. I was in the living room on a sofa bed. I surfed there for 4 months, found a job in 2 months. Her sister was renting a cottage in Berkeley. She went to Detroit to go visit her mother, who was deathly ill. I house sat at that Berkeley cottage for 1 month. And at the end of that month, I found a rooming situation in Albany. And I stayed. I found a job. I found my own place in 5 months, and I found a job in 2 months when I first got here. September 17, 1999.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's no way I was going back to Detroit. I lost the job I had April of 2000 when I was working at a .com for automobiles It's like cars.com, but it was a different way. So I had that job, and I lost that job in April. And that same week, that place in Albany I was renting, he said, my daughter is coming home from college, so I got to kick you out.
Oh, shit.
I had 2 weeks to move
Oh.
and 2 weeks with no job. I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. Back then, Craigslist was a nice, safe place to look for jobs and buy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I carpet bombed. I landed a job at a new place on the same day.
Oh, that's
I did not
awesome.
have to move back to Detroit. Close.
That's scary.
Yeah. And then the sickle cell shit started flaring up again.
So I don't know. I don't remember that much about sickle cell. I know I learned a lot about it as a kid and in nursing school. And I remember like the shape of like, obviously the cells and stuff, but I don't remember all of the
intricacies or the intricacies.
Yeah. And the side effects that you have to deal with that.
Everyone is born with red blood cells.
Right.
In sickle cell patients, some of those cells, when they call it sickling, they become sickle shaped and they clot up in arteries. When they clot up, it causes immense pain. Some people describe it like broken glass going through your body. For me, it feels like I'm either being stabbed, chopped, or sawed at a certain spot from without and from within. And I've had a billion different crises. Sometimes it starts in my chest. Sometimes it starts in my shins. And sometimes it has started in my biceps. When that happens and I'm not looking like the same person I am because I've generally curled up into a ball and crying and writhing in pain.
Yeah.
You get to the hospital. They load you up with painkiller. It used to be Demerol, but now it's morphine and saline to keep the morphine going, or I forgot what that's called, but something to keep the morphine lasting in your body, and oxygen. Because if it gets real bad, the blood flow is going to get interrupted and you're not going to get oxygen, which is carried through your body on round blood cells. You could actually have an infarction in any of your organs and die.
Yeah.
I have had that happen to me where the sickling was so bad it stopped my breathing. The lady I was seeing at the time, she was a nurse, a head charge nurse at a Kaiser in Santa Clara. She knew exactly what to do. She tested me for a stroke, and then her and her girlfriend who lived next door, they got me in the car and took me to the hospital. I ended up in the hospital for a month.
Oh my
During that
gosh.
month, they had to call my twin sister in and say, we don't know if he's going to make it. You got to come out here. So they called the family in, and I made it. And I haven't had that bad of a sickle cell crisis since. That was way back in 2010.
Well, knock on wood for that. Like,
Yeah.
you haven't had another episode like that.
Not like that. I have had crises. The last time I was actually in the hospital was 2016. And I think I was there for 2 weeks. But very lucky. I didn't have to go to the hospital during COVID.
That's really lucky.
Stress is a trigger. Weather shifts will always trigger some kind of pain. But also now I have arthritis in one bad hip that needs to be replaced. People who have orthopedic problems, no matter what the origin is, they're going to have to wait.
Yep.
There are long lists of people who need some kind of orthopedic surgery, but they're going to have to wait. I'm not special. I found out how special I'm not 2-3 Mondays ago when I had to go to the doctor. And that doctor said, let's take you over to the orthopedic surgery department, see if you can strong arm them into moving your name up the list.
Right.
When that scheduler showed us the list, there's no fucking way. No one's moving. She showed us names from June, July, August of 2021.
Holy
and a stack of names above that. I don't know if those people are on Medicare like I am. I don't know if they have Medicaid. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Let's say tonight Kirkland lands on, I don't know, $7 million.
Ooh.
If I walked around to that hospital and said, I got $1 million, can you please take care of this hip? They'd be like, get in line, bro. It would not change a thing.
That's crazy too.
It is crazy. This is the American healthcare system in action.
It is so broken.
It's shattered. This whole thing, this is what obsessed me. Apparently we're the richest country in the world, but we can't help each other like that.
Right.
We got an asshole who wants to buy a fucking social media thing, but that guy can't take that money he spent on that. Let me just help a few people.
Right. Well, and you would think like it's pocket change for him to make those changes.
Totally.
That's
It's
the craziest
totally
part.
pocket change for him. What is he worth? 620B?
Probably.
And he's dropped 44B on this and causing all this mess so he could have his voice heard?
Right.
Blow me.
Yeah. It's amazing to me how, like, if we could fix that, like, if we could fix healthcare and fix mental health, like, services.
Right? It would completely spread out. This whole planet would change.
Yeah.
This whole planet would change overnight.
Because being in pain, like I'm in, like you, and we've kind of bonded over the pain thing. I don't understand the sickle cell pain, and I never will, but being in constant pain all the time, that I understand.
Why do you have constant chronic pain?
I had a neck injury or a shoulder injury.
Okay, yeah.
So I have 6 screws and 2 rods in my neck that fuse my cervical spine together.
Are you telling me also that when weather changes, you feel the whole pain?
Yeah. So my pain, I live at like, if you do the pain scale, the 1 through 10,
yeah.
I probably live between a 4 and a 5.
Yeah,
It's
but every day
always
that's
there.
old. That gets old real quick.
Yeah.
With this hip shit, I'm at a 7 and up every day.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm at a 7.
Yeah. And it's like, you can't, I did 3 years on my couch being in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was fatter and miserable. And
yeah.
I was not a good person to be around. I was not the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be in pain anyways. And once I shifted the thought of like, whether I'm on the couch or I'm at a job or I'm out with friends, that pain's not going anywhere.
Word.
But at least like being out and feeling like I'm living makes it not the forefront of my thoughts.
Right.
But
It
it
almost
took me-
makes the pain tolerable.
Yeah. But it took me a long time, and it took me like increments of getting better at that. And there are some days when I'm in more pain that I'm like, I just can't do it.
At least you younger enough, and you figured it out.
Yeah. And I think,
I mean, basically, we're faking it.
yeah.
I'm totally faking it. When I host trivia, total fakeage. People have seen me. Dude asked me last week at Preacher's Daughter, dude, how are you doing this with all this pain? You're limping horribly now.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, I've been fucking faking this for the last 3 years. This shit hurts all the time.
Yeah.
Every weather shift up. When it gets hot, pain. When it gets cold, pain. When it rains, pain. When it doesn't rain, pain. Whatever. I wake up in pain. I'm sitting here in pain. I'm standing here in pain. I'm walking in pain. I got to fake it. I just hope that if we have enough fun doing this trivia stuff and you guys have enough fun playing it, it takes my mind off it.
Right.
And he did say we do have fun with it. We like the way you host it.
Oh, yeah. You're a great trivia host.
Thank you.
I enjoy your games a lot.
Oh, let me do a quick shout out.
Oh, all right.
Sean Keeley is our online host. One of our online hosts, Scott Miner, is going to be moving off the online thing. Scott Miner moved to Palm Springs this year. Sean Keeley moved to Texas two years ago. And Kara lives in Benicia. Kara was a monthly host. Scott was a monthly host. Sean was a monthly host when he lived here. And I'm a monthly host. Those 3 provide questions on Tuesdays for the online and for the live game. And
fun.
we're going to lose Scott because he's going to be doing other stuff on Tuesdays. And thanks to him for everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations,
awesome.
Scott. I was wondering why I hadn't
Congratulations,
seen him around.
Yeah,
Although
he
I haven't been
bounced.
there a lot on Tuesdays, but
Right. Yeah, he moved away. He bought a house in Palm Springs.
good for him.
Right? That house is so sweet.
Oh, maybe we should go down and visit
Yeah,
him.
well,
I'll
we're
drive.
coming, Scott. Let's go.
I'll drive, you navigate.
Right on. Palm
'Cause I've never been
great
to
for the
Palm
heat.
Springs.
I've never been to Palm Springs either.
Ooh.
I know it's nice and warm there, and it stays hot, I think.
See, I love it here. I love the diversity of being on the island. We're so close to San Francisco. We're so close
And
to
Oakland.
Excuse me. But I wish it was like 10 degrees warmer all the time.
Me too. And it used to be 10 degrees warmer all the time, but now it's like that's not enough. Because global warming, it's a hoax.
Oh, it is. It doesn't exist at
It
all.
does not exist at all. Jeez. I forgot about your pain with your accident and your injury.
Yeah, so because of it, I have nerve damage that goes all the way down into my hand. So I have intermittent neuropathy and I have all this other shit. So if I sit too long or if I do anything, and then I have like spots of numbness in my neck
Great.
and in my shoulder.
Oh, fantastic.
And then, yeah, it's terrible.
What kind of medication do they prescribe for you?
I no longer take any prescribed medication.
You just tough it out?
I do lots of anti-inflammatories, CBD, THC, and
Okay.
the mushrooms actually have been. I do microdosing of mushrooms because they keep talking about how mushrooms do new neural pathways.
Oh, nice.
And so I figured if I can like microdose them enough, maybe some other things will shift.
Yes, and create new levels of lower pain.
Yep. Because I was way over medicated for a long time. I was at one point on 100 milligrams of fentanyl every 3 days. Hydrocodone for breakthrough pain, Vicodin, or Vicodins are hydrocodones. Valium for some of the muscle spasms and the anxiety of it all. And then when I was still in school, I was taking Xanax for like test anxiety and everything else. And then I was on gabapentin. I mean, I was on
Western medicine.
my bag of. If I had stayed on the prescriptions that my doctors had given me, I would be dead. And the fact that I'm not a heroin addict is.
What does gabapentin actually do? I'm on that now.
I don't know. It didn't ever seem
kind
to
of-
work to me.
For me, it seems to do this. When I take the heavy pills and I'm on morphine, 15 milligrams, slow 12-hour release, oxycodone, 30 milligram, immediate release, and I take ibuprofen, but I had to slow it down because I was starting to affect my kidneys.
Yeah.
And that's it for pain. So, I'm also on lisinopril because I have high blood pressure, and gabapentin. I take 2 of those at night, 1 in the daytime. The gabapentin, I was told, when you have your pain level slightly diminished by your other meds, the morphine, it's going to help make that last longer. Make the effect of that pill last longer. It has worked.
Well,
Today,
that's
I
good.
got up at a 7. And normally I've been getting up, especially with the cold rain the other days. I was getting up at 9, pain level 9, pain level 10.
Yeah.
And I was having to grab the walls to walk. Today, I didn't have to do that.
Ooh, maybe
How about
tomorrow
that?
you'll be at a 6.
I'm hoping for it.
Sometimes, like, just being that 10 to 15% is like a huge
Oh, totally.
relief.
Yep.
And trying to explain that to someone that has never felt it
You
is
just see
like,
question marks popping out of their heads.
yeah, or like they just don't believe you.
Or that's the worst part, when they do not believe you. I was dating a girl 2 years ago who literally thought that I was lying about sickle cell. Ready for this story?
Yes.
I go to her house. She lives in Fairfield. So I got to take a train there because I'm not driving. Go to her house. She lives in a mother-in-law, her daughter's husband, and her other daughter who's 13, and her daughter's kids who are 13, 10, and 1. They're in the main house. She's in the mother-in-law.
Okay.
So they had a friend come over, blah, blah. We're kind of kicking it, having a barbecue. It was the middle of summer. I go to the bedroom because it's time for me to take my meds. My meds are gone. What meds, Kirkland? Oxycodone, gone. I had
shit.
4. That's the first fucking thing you pack if you live in chronic pain. You pack your meds first so you make sure you don't
Yep.
forget them. Someone in that house stole my pills. 1, if I don't have sickle cell, why do I have these meds? Why was I limping most of that weekend? Why blah, blah, blah? She didn't give a fuck. Someone in the house stole my pills.
Oh,
Someone in the house stole my pills. I couldn't prove that it was her. I couldn't prove who did it.
Right.
Someone stole my pills. I said, okay, when I get home, if I don't have the amount I thought I left with, if I have more than that, then nobody stole them. But I
Right.
know I brought them. Of course they were gone. Why would I make up something like that? Anywho, yeah. So that following week, I was very stressed out and I had a whole lot of pain. Just enough pain that I didn't have to go to the hospital, but enough meds so it could take care of the pain.
right.
So I'm trying to text her because I don't want to talk to people when I'm sick, not when I'm crying and shit like that. But because I didn't talk to her, she felt like, you're running a game on me. I'm like, how? So I finally got it better. She came over the next week and she got pissed that I wasn't paying attention to her. This grown-ass woman, she had just turned 50. Well, I say grown-ass woman. Anyway, it's just, hey, you sure can't pick him, Kirk? It's not going to turn into that. But, dude, it was like, if I have to do this overacting to get you to believe that I have sickle cell,
Right.
and you don't want to read all the stack of hospital paperwork I have, fuck it.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, once she figured out things and I was able to talk to her a certain way about what she expects from a dude and what dudes expect from her, we have become friends. We have become friends.
Oh, that's nice.
Over this time, she kind of wanted to come to my house to chill, to get out of the noise of her house. I'm not going to tell you the details of her bullshit, but it's a lot of bullshit. She said, we got to the point of discussing. I said, you came over my house expecting something of me that I gave you, which got you over to the house in the first place. Yeah. And I said, are you the same person every 5 minutes? Don't things change in your head, in your life, where you can't be that same person? You have to be tough with your kids, but not all the time.
Right.
You got to be nice to your kids, but not all the time. Why would you apply that to your romantic relationship? And she said, I never thought about it like that because I felt like dudes owe me.
Nobody owes you
Nobody
shit.
owes you shit. Ooh, can we have water?
Yeah.
Can we take a break?
Absolutely. That's back on.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, but to go back to they don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
The other night I had guys at my bar get into, not at Fireside, at the other one. They got into it with there was these group of girls in, and most of the girls were lesbians, and
Okay.
it was clear that a couple of the girls were coupled up. you know, and like one of the guys, I guess, kept trying to go over and talk to her. And she was like kind of nice.
With her person.
And she was nice at first. And then he kept asking questions and they finally just stopped talking to him. And so he like went over and repeated a question again. Just going
Couldn't
back
pick
and
up the hint.
And so, and even when he's telling me this part of the story, like I was like, so she didn't want to talk to you. And he's like, well, I didn't think she heard me. And I'm like, okay, but then she still didn't want to talk to you. And he's like, well, and then 2 days later, he's like, well, I wasn't rude.
That is not the point.
And so we're going over
but
it.
actually, you were rude because you didn't pick up any social cues.
Yeah. So I finally looked at him and his friends and, you know, a bunch of other stuff had happened. But at the end of the night, I was like, just so we get this all straight and on the table. If a girl doesn't want to talk to you, she doesn't have to talk to you. I mean, she doesn't owe you anything.
She doesn't owe you anything.
And they're like, well, and I'm like, I get maybe you were trying to be polite or whatever, but she doesn't want to talk to you. That's it.
Didn't she
She's
also?
not a bitch. She's
Didn't
not
you say
anything.
she was polite, also saying, "Hey, dude, we're busy with our friends."
And they kept going, and then she lost her shit and like popped off on him. Okay, but like, so it's still her fault. You kept making advances. She said no. She said no again. So she had to pop off. But now you're going to be mad at her.
You're mad at
she's
her.
a bitch.
Yeah.
Because she yelled at you because you didn't listen the first 4 times she told you.
The first 4 to 6 times, yes.
And I'm like, women don't owe you shit. Like, I'm so tired. Like,
We have a mutual friend. I told you the story last week, but I'm telling this podcast
yeah.
now. Yeah, I think that bartender's hot, says this friend. But she told me she has a boyfriend. So I'm just going to bide my time. Bide your time for what, says I. And he says, I don't think she has a boyfriend. I'm like, okay, maybe it's rude if she lied about that. But if she has a boyfriend and she told you that, leave her alone. That's a nice way of saying, I got a boyfriend. I ain't looking for nobody.
Right.
I don't think she has a boyfriend. Not the point. You doing this is proving her point. This is why she felt like she had to lie.
Right.
Leave her alone. There's a bunch of other chicks you can check out. A bunch of other bartenders you can check out. I don't want to deal with these bartenders anyway. Because he had been attracted to one and she did not want to play.
Yeah. It's like if a woman's telling
weird.
you, that's just like it's letting a guy down easy. It's one of the things we're taught to do. Like, because if you're, you know, you got to keep his ego in check and you can't, because men will be mad.
But see, that still makes a man feel like you're owed. He's owed something.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Like, even, no matter what we do, like if we're rude, then it puts us actually in jeopardy even further because then those guys get all hostile and
a lot of dudes don't understand what jeopardy actually means. Women are not comfortable with dudes who call them bitches because they said they weren't interested.
Right.
They think something violent can happen because that has happened.
yes. Yeah. Oh, I had a conversation with a guy the other day, a tall white guy, and we were talking about something, and I was saying like, oh, well, I was like, this hotel, just every time I walked down, it was like, which way am I going to get murdered now? And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, there was just a lot of like dark crevices and like little alcoves that weren't lit. And I'm like, you know, just that's what you think of. And he was like, oh, because of, what did you just see, a horror movie? I'm like,
Wow.
no,
dude, this is life.
I'm like, that's what I think about every time I leave my house. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, every time I leave my house, it's like, how do I not get murdered?
He doesn't understand that 99% of the women on this planet have to go through that.
So he pulled a girl over that he was dating and he was like, do you hear this? Because he like was shocked at it. And he asked her and he was like, she just said every time she leaves the house, like she has to think about how she's not getting murdered.
And the girlfriend said,
oh, absolutely.
Completely corroborated it.
Yeah. She was like, oh yeah, that's what we have to think about. Like, how do I make it from she's like, well, sometimes I like to play how do I make it from the mall door where I did not get kidnapped to my car?
Not Frogger in real life.
Yeah, basically.
God
That's
damn.
like how she kind of looks at it sometimes when she's overwhelmed and her anxiety is huge about the fact that she could be like murdered at any time because she's a tiny little woman. She's like 5'2", maybe 100 pounds. Like we joke about she should be in his pocket half the time because he's a big guy, you know?
Big guy, yep. So did he learn a lesson? Did he pick things up?
Yeah, and he was shocked. And he was like, I can't. So he's like, all women? And I was like, well, all women and most brown people.
Then what'd he say?
And he just looked at me like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's most people.
The brown people are more worried about getting shot
Right,
for
yeah,
no
but
reason.
murdered,
But it's the same
like,
thing, yeah.
yeah. And he was just looking at me and I was like, do you really? I'm like, this is why people say you're privileged.
Did he pick that up?
And he was just like, you had to go there. I'm like, I did.
Yeah, see, he's denying it. He's denying it. He never has to think like that.
He was just still shocked. And I was
never
just
has
like,
to think like that.
Right.
Like the day may happen where I just go into the mall, I get picked up by police for something I didn't do, or I get shot, I got put in the system.
Right.
For something I didn't do.
Yeah.
Or worse, I just got shot by a cop who was just pissed off.
Right. And I was like, that's
right.
when people talk about privilege, that's what they're talking about. The fact that you've never had to think about that.
Yes. You're lucky that you never had to think about that. But you don't see that you see that's just normal.
Right. Because you don't know what you don't know.
You mentioned this about brown-skinned people and women. If only we could all really get together and flip this whole motherfucking planet over. Mm-hmm. Flip it like a table.
Yeah.
There'd be no more Trumps running the world. And this white supremacy shit that is in the news all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can deny it all they want to. It's real.
It is real. And it's scary that it's becoming so much more almost acceptable.
Apparently it is acceptable.
It's... it can't be. You know what I mean? It can't be. Like
it is. No one in the government is doing anything about it. They know domestic white terrorism is a real thing, but they're not doing enough about it.
Right.
They changed this whole country's constitution after 9/11, but they will never change it because of white domestic terrorism. Why is it still so easy for most white guys to get a gun?
I don't know.
How come I can't get a gun? Because I live in California? Because I have a DUI?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
Let's talk about pain.
Yeah.
So you sustain your pain with your microdosing or sustain your level of, I can deal with this pain.
Let's
say you stop doing it.
Also with exercise and meditation, and I stretch.
Meditation for me too.
Yep, and I stretch every morning and at night. I stretch sometimes a lot during the day. I'm always moving because I figure if I keep moving, then like the signals can't be that strong.
Okay.
Like distraction.
Fair enough.
Those are all my kind of tricks.
It hurts for me to stretch and move. Like I said, I'm in pain right now.
Right.
And the pain's going up because the sun's going down. I think for me, when I can move, it does do the distraction thing. But sometimes the pain just beats the shit out of the meds and the moving.
Yeah.
That pain can win.
Yeah.
No one wants that to win, but it just is what it is.
Yeah. What do you do, like, when you get in that spot where the pain is winning? How do you not give into that?
Oh, I give into it. I got to take more meds.
Yeah. Do you just, like, isolate then? Or, you know what, how do you not give into the depression that goes with the pain?
I play a lot of video games where you can shoot motherfuckers in the head.
Oh.
Not online. I just do, like, quest games. There's a science fiction game called Cyberpunk 2077 where you can pick up subcontracts from the police because they can't deal with it. You can just go to that spot. There's a little thing that you have to grab. You can grab it and run away from it while they're shooting at you, or you can blow them up and get the thing and get paid for it.
Oh.
That is cathartic. Seriously.
Yeah. I just played video games for the first time, and I don't know, like an actual player video game
what kind
for
of
the
game?
first time. Like a quest game.
Okay.
It was the Evil Dead game.
Oh, that game.
Yeah.
I played that with, yeah. Oh, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun beating the shit out of those zombies?
Yeah, it's like
it's a little cathartic, right?
I wasn't sure what I was doing, and
until you were.
yeah,
Yep.
and we were playing on a computer. Which
So
made
you're
it
playing on a
harder.
keyboard, not a controller. Yeah.
And I was like, can we get, like, why don't you have it? I was like, I feel like I would be better if I had a controller.
He hooked it up, right? He had
No.
one, right? Oh, he hasn't gotten it yet? I thought he did.
I don't, he
Okay.
said he did, but I don't know.
Okay.
He hasn't hooked it up yet. Or last time I was there, he hadn't. But so he's telling me what ones to press. And then at one point, like, he told me it was like 4 keys that I had to do. And then he's like,
WASD, yeah.
yeah. And then he's like, why aren't you hitting the F key? And I'm like, what? You haven't introduced me to the F key. Like, that's
He
been
was
my
a little
favorite
buzzed out
key.
that. I
Like-
know he's a better video game teacher than that, but yeah.
Well, I was like, you are terrible at this. I kept spending most of my time dying.
Were you guys twitching on it too? He didn't stream that night, right?
He might have, yeah, because
Wow.
he first sat down and was like, I'm on camera. I'm like, I don't want to be on camera.
Right? Right? It was like 2 a.m, yeah.
And then he shut it off for a little bit, but I think we have streamed 1 or 2 because he's like, you could be good at this. And I was kicking. I think it was one night when he wasn't streaming it, and I was like, he'd gone to smoke a cigarette or something, and I was like, I had got it, and I was kicking the shit out of this thing, and I was talking to it and yelling at it, and he was like, you
Nice.
really would be good at this.
Yes. That's what you do. That's what
And
you
I was like,
do.
I could kind of get into this, like,
Yes.
and I wanted to play again, but I want to
There
be
you go.
good at it. Like,
You will get good at it when you play more. It's just going to grow incrementally.
yeah.
That's the fun of video
But I
games.
want the control. Like, I think,
You need the controller
Yeah,
rather than the
because-
keyboard.
yeah, and the most thing is because
That's old school.
yeah, and I don't have a lot of dexterity in my hand, so I have control over it and I can do a lot, but I still, like, the fine motor skills
Mm-hmm.
are not.
Would the controller actually be better for you until it wouldn't be, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so you have to switch on and off.
Well, no, I think the controller would be better until, like, my hand starts to, like,
That's what I'm saying.
cramp or
And
something.
then after that, you switch off and go back to the keyboard thing. But that's a longer road to climb to get that thing mastered. When I went over there to play video games, I guess he thought This guy's an old dude. He's not going to be able to pick this up. I'm like, dude, I play video games more than you play video games, but I just don't play on a computer. But I did remember WASW for movement, left button fire, right button reload, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I started picking up. He's like, oh, shit, you are pretty good at this. It was cathartic, beating the shit out of those zombies.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It was fun. I had no idea what I was doing, though, but it was really
But when you
fun.
figured it out,
Yeah.
and you let them come to you, and you're like, I don't have to move. They'll come to me, chop, 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 beat down.
Yep. It was fun.
There's a game called Alien Fireteam Elite. You are one of 3 people who have a certain skill set. And the better you get at the skill set, the stronger your weaponry is.
Ooh.
So while all these aliens are coming through these hallways trying to kill you, you lean down, you press a certain button, your big skill set blows them all up simultaneously. It looks like a light show. You love it. It is cathartic. Video games really got me through COVID. I was playing a game called The Division 2. The story of that game is that a pandemic spread across the nation because someone made some kind of dirty bomb and they popped it.
Oh.
So the same thing that's happening real life 2020 was in that game. We, as the Division, were signed on to help protect these little segments of communities that were just trying to grow food and be a regular community again. Yeah. So I like being a sniper. The game makes a certain sound when you pop people's heads open with a sniper rifle or even a regular gun.
Oh, we might have to have a night where we play these.
Oh, yeah, that's totally cathartic. Yeah, you can come over, and I got controllers, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was thinking because we're in this, what is going to be my studio, and I'm excited because there's a couple of other people that are going to come and use the equipment and use the room, and
Nice.
we're going to produce their podcasts.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And hopefully,
Right on.
to get it started, we're just going to
Okay, got
you
it. Yeah.
work as a team, and high water rises all boats. So, like,
Listen to that.
it'll come. Or it's just going to be fun to even hear those conversations because it's a couple of drag queens and their perspective. And then 2 sisters who are going to do probably a lot of talk about race, and you'll love them. I think you know one of them.
Okay.
But so we're going to set this up so that we have cameras coming in and things like that. So if someone wants to do cameras, but I'm going to get a huge TV so everything can be up there for when you're sitting here.
Right
so
on.
I think we'll just have to add a gaming system to that too.
Right on.
So I'm
You
going to
find
probably
them.
need to figure out which one to get.
I don't know. Some people who are on the PlayStation 5 team, they love that. I'm on Xbox. I love mine. I got the Series S, old school one. Just when they redid the whole thing. There's one called now the Series X. Supposed to be 4K everything. So
Wow.
I think you can get it. I think that costs like $400. And a 65-inch TV that you would put there.
Yeah.
What is that now? Like 900 or less? Way
Well,
less.
I have one at home in Boston.
Is it worth it to ship it or get a new one?
But I'd probably just buy a new one.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I just left in Boston that I have not rebought here.
I totally hear you because I don't want to do it. But when you go get it and you ship it to yourself, it's just like rebuying it.
Right.
I had to do that with my stuff.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of collectible items. There are water guns I have that look like real guns.
Ooh.
These
That'll
look
get you
like,
killed.
yes, I would like to sell those things. So when I put them on eBay, I can ship them out and get that fast money. They've been sitting around and they still work. I think 99% of them work since 88
Oh, wow.
in an attic. When I shipped them to myself, I said, I don't really have to dust this off because they were dust free. I'm going to sell them. I have a lot of shit in my storage area that I can sell. But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do a link to your sale.
Okay.
Well,
we got to
your
get
stuff.
your stuff from Boston. It's funny. You're going to be spending money either way.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go home. I'm going home on Friday. So I'm going home for Christmas. It's going to be the longest time I spend.
I was going to say, how long are you going to be there? A month?
2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah. It'll be the longest time I'm gone since I've moved to California.
Good luck with that weather.
That is the worst part that I've been dreading, especially the last couple of days where we've been so cold and rainy here.
Yep.
And I've been feeling such shit. I'm like so excited to go see my family and so anxious and scared of the amount of pain. And I don't really think sometimes my parents still understand it.
How?
Because they know, but they don't, because they don't,
Oh, yeah.
they don't have it. So they
I'm
don't
sorry I asked
understand.
that question because I thought about my twin sister who was kind of mean to me and my older sister with our pain. Yeah, people just, if it doesn't happen to them, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Like I've had chronic pain basically since I was a kid. I had endometriosis. And so my cramps every month I would be doubled over in pain.
I dated a lady with endometriosis.
Yep.
And when she finally got married and had a baby, it kind of went away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They told me those were my option.
Yes.
Actually, my only option, because you can't get or you couldn't get a hysterectomy before you were 26.
Mm-hmm.
I asked for one like 4 different times.
No, you're too young for it, blah, blah, blah.
And you're going to want a kid. I'm like, I don't want kids. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it. And they're like, no, you're going to change your mind. I'm like, I'm not going to change my mind, but I can't deal with this pain all the time.
Right.
But doctors know better than you do.
All the time.
So they put me on, like, I was on a bunch of medication to do, I was chemically induced menopause twice so that I wouldn't get as bad of periods.
So wait a minute. Them controlling your vagina like that is better for you than your decision to say, just take it all out so I don't have to deal with this pain.
Yeah. So years of hormones that change everything about you. Adding them, taking them away. And then I had a prescription for morphine when I was 17. Because I had my body, I built up a tolerance. So I couldn't take all the drugs anymore. And so they had to just keep giving me more and more. And at like 17, I was...
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Here's a monthly prescription of morphine for you. Like, yeah. Again, the fact that I'm not a heroin addict is really amazing.
Yeah. You know what? It was easy for me to fight the whole, this medication feels so good, blah, blah, blah. Because if it wasn't Demerol, it wasn't shit. Did you ever have to take Demerol?
I had it, but it would give me bad migraines.
Okay.
So I couldn't take it. That and Oxycontins. I can't take Oxys for more than 3 days without either getting violently ill or it starts migraines.
Which medication made you feel good even if it didn't really help?
The Vicodins.
Okay. Vicodins for me are like coffee.
Oh.
I just felt like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I was like a hummingbird. Demerol, however, a nice gentle downer. I mean, I'm going to use adult language to describe how it made me feel. The nurse had to come into the hospital, into the room that I'm in, and say, I have to give you something called a slow intravenous push. She puts the needle in the IV, not in my body, sits down, cross her legs, looks at her watch, says, I have to push this in. It's going to take 7 minutes for me to push all this in. It shouldn't, because they just shoot it through.
Right.
But she said, you should feel something in 30 seconds. It should knock your pain down, and you should be knocked out in about a minute. All true. While it was going on for the 2nd minute to the 5th minute, I felt like I was at the beginning of having the best orgasm of my life. It felt like it was lasting for 40 minutes. Then after that, you feel like you're floating from the bed, lying straight on your back toward the ceiling. And just before you touch the ceiling, you come down so slowly, you gently land back in the bed. All this process before it knocks you out takes 5 minutes. But it feels like time has slowed down to hours. It was fantastic. I fucking loved it. You can't become a drug addict on that stuff, can you? Yes, you can. So what happened? The FDA said Demerol doesn't work. It just made people go crazy for the Demerol, and they pulled it off the market in 2000. Yep, back to morphine or Dilaudid. Dilaudid just makes me throw up.
Yeah. Morphine. I have used morphine. I don't like it because it makes me just itchy. Like, and not like the Vicodin itch where like if people anyone that's addicted to Vicodin, they'll get itchy.
Yeah.
It's usually when they don't have it's when their Vicodin's starting to wear off. They get the Vic itch.
The Vic itch is not as a prickly itch as the morphine itch, right?
No.
The morphine itch is horrible.
Yeah.
It's prickly.
Yeah. And the Vic itch is like almost like a little bug's on you somewhere. Like you're just like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? But the morphine itchy is like.
I've had that with Demerol, the itch, but then I was on Demerol, like the button machine. 5 days of that. Anytime you wanted, you press the button. Yeah, I had the itch within 3 days. But we know about patients who would crack that box open and squeeze the Demerol to get all they can out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going out like that.
No. I don't know if it's because I grew up and I had a couple of people in my life that were addicts and I got to see what that was like. That's why the only reason I kind of didn't give in. And I think for a few years I probably did give in more than I want to admit because there's stuff I don't remember. Like I was on all that meds and I was still trying to live my life.
Right.
So I was like at a friend's baby shower and I don't remember being there at all. I know I have the pictures and I know like I have but I don't, there's like little spots where I'm like, I have no idea. I think I know, but I'm still not sure.
Damn.
And it's like a shitty thing to admit, but it's also like, that's what
No,
happened.
real is real.
And I was taking way less medication than I was prescribed. I was trying to do everything right. Like,
me too, to this day.
Yep. I had one doctor prescribing me all my stuff so that all the specialists and the doctors, they all go. I'm like, send that to my primary care. Send that to my primary care. Like, I'll have him, between him and the pharmacist, like, I'll make sure I won't get over medicated, and I'll make sure.
There you go. He filtered and funneled. Yeah.
And I still was over medicated.
As of the last 2 weeks, I ended up on, especially when it rained last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I took a little more than the prescribed amounts on the bottles. But before that, when I could take it, I was taking way less than prescribed.
Right.
But when that pain jumped up to a constant 10 to 11 to 12, one night I probably should have gone to the hospital. I'm like, I'm going to take this big pill once, and if it knocks out enough pain, I'm not going to the hospital.
Right.
All to prevent going to the hospital. But maybe if I end up going to the hospital because of ER, maybe they'll say, we better operate.
Maybe. We just showing up all the time. But just going to the ER is such like a...
It is a pain.
Yeah. And it doesn't help your, like...
Stress does not help anything.
No. And being there is stressful. And then it's like depending on the nurse that you get, are they going to believe you that it's all that bad?
Correct.
Or are they going to think that you're seeking? And then it's...
Correct.
How are they going to treat you? And I'm sure you get treated even worse than I do. Because
it has
of
happened.
All of that.
It has happened.
And it's like, well, here's all my medical records. Here's everything. Like,
they have it.
They
have it, but they don't want to look it up. Yeah.
And they still will just...
Correct. One time I went there, this is way back in 2000. I was still married, so that was 2007, 2008. We get to the ER, and I just dropped. I dropped to the floor. I'm writhing in pain, crying. The nurse does not believe any second of this. And while my wife was trying to settle me down, this nurse, who's had enough of me making all this noise, she grabs my bicep, and I screamed like a girl. And she got the fucking hint. And then she became a totally different person. She got the gurney. She got the medication. She said, I'm so sorry. Blah, blah, blah. She sped up her better customer service.
Right.
She changed her whole thing. I'm sorry she had a bad night, but when she touched me and I screamed like that, he's not faking this.
Right.
That pain was horrible. Yeesh.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that in the last 6 years, I've not had to go to the hospital. Very fortunate. There are people who I think the level of pain that I'm experiencing, and I'm pretty sure the level of pain you're experiencing, they run to ER every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to the hospital.
No.
I don't really like taking the drugs I'm taking. Did I take the thing I am addicted to that I have to stay away from?
What?
Glazed donuts.
Oh.
I hung out with a lady last Mother's Day. We had dinner in Oakland. And they offered a dessert at the restaurant, and we said, nah. I said, let's go to Colonial Donuts. I haven't had a glazed donut in years. She said, what are you talking about? I said, I have to stay away from these things because 1's going to equal 2, and 2's going to equal the rest of my life. So we go. She gets 2 glazed chocolate donuts. I get 4 glazed donuts. Her house is not even 10 minutes away from there. By the time we got home to her spot, 2 of those glazed donuts were gone. We watched that My Octopus Year.
Oh, yeah.
I ate the rest of those donuts. Kicked it, stayed over her house. The next morning, I'm like, before we get home, can you take me to Colonial Donuts? I bought 6 donuts and 1 twist. They did not make it to 1 o'clock. I got home at 11. They didn't make it home. The next day, I went to donut shop here. The one at where Pagano's is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First
it was 6. The next day, because of course I ate those, I bought a dozen. The next day, went down to 6. All these are donuts that are gone after I get the box.
Oh, my Lord. That's a lot of donuts.
1 week, I had 56 donuts. I think I shared 2. 56 donuts. Yep. I'm not making that number
No,
up.
I know.
I had to stop because I'm like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I have a horrible sweet tooth. Right now, I'm on these Tootsie Roll midgets, those little tiny ones.
Oh, yeah.
You could buy a little tube for $2. How much Tootsie Roll do you think that is when you stack all those things up? It's actually the one big one, so it's not so bad, right?
Right.
But it's a fucking Tootsie Roll. It's going to take my teeth out. What am I
have
doing?
a bag of Reese's peanut butter cups and Kit Kat minis in my fridge.
Oh my! In your fridge, that's right. And the cold version of that, delish.
And every time I go to my fridge, I take out like a small handful of them, and then I have to sometimes make myself not buy them.
Right.
And the more pain I'm in, the more I eat.
That's right. Something's got to give you pleasure.
Yep.
That's right.
And sometimes I'm like, you gotta stop. Like I just ran
You tell
5
yourself you gotta
miles,
stop.
and
That's
now
right.
I'm gonna eat like 4 tacos. Like what? No.
But you also know that, like most people, your metabolism changes when you're doing a lot of working out.
Yeah.
When I was going to the gym, this is the year I got divorced, I was able to go to the Y, And the days I didn't go to the Y, I was taking Shotokan karate up the street on Park Street.
Oh, nice.
Every day, Mr. Getting fit, stronger. So my eating just went berserk. There's a spot. You've been to Lois the Pie Queen in Oakland?
No.
Excellent breakfast joint. I don't know if it still exists, but it's excellent.
Okay.
They had something called the Reggie Jackson. The Reggie Jackson consisted of 2 pork chops, grits, eggs any way, sausage any way, bacon any way. You can have waffles too. Yes, waffles, pancakes, something like that. 2 of those, and any type of bread or muffin, toast, whatever. If you eat the whole thing,
it's free.
it's not free. They'll take your picture and say this person ate the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I ate the whole thing within 3 minutes because I basically inhaled the food, and I didn't feel full.
Holy shit.
I felt like I shouldn't eat anymore, but I feel like I can have a cheeseburger in a couple hours. Metabolism changes when you work out a lot.
Yeah.
Now, back then, I was not drinking nearly as much as I drink now. That's true. I was never really a big drinker until after divorce. Is my stomach picking up on this?
No, that was mine, I think.
Because I have been growling since I got here. Like, grr. Funny.
I wonder if that'll be picked up on the mic.
That is a trip.
I was just thinking, I wonder what I'm going to eat for dinner.
I know what I got to make. I got to make spaghetti. I bought a ground beef yesterday, and it came yesterday morning thanks to Instacart, but I didn't start messing with it, and I got to get home.
Oh.
Because sometimes, you know what happens with ground beef when it turns brown inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you cook a lot?
No, only when I'm in the mood for it.
Yeah.
But when I do cook, I cook enough. It's just me. I don't have kids or pets, so I will cook enough for the spaghetti, and spaghetti and meatballs last me 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
And all the salad I need.
Nice. Yeah. What do you do? Is there dietary stuff that you can do for your sickle cell? What are the things that you can do to help?
They have recommended a lot more beans or legumes, and a couple of nurses said you need to get more sweet potatoes into your diet. I don't know what that does, but they said they need. I looked it up. I forgot it.
Yeah.
I don't have any dietary restrictions. Salt can get heavy because older black man more than sickle cell.
Right.
And I do have hypertension. If I cut down my salt, you would think the way I just described those Tootsie Rolls and those donuts, I need to cut down my sugar intake, but so far it has not affected me.
That's good.
Every doctor has said, I don't know how your body's doing this, but the sugar intake is not really affected. One doctor said, if you got to eat these candy bars, man, just eat some with peanuts once in a while. Will ya? Yep.
All right. Why peanuts?
Salt.
Oh.
Salt will help. And the peanuts have other nutrients in it that help. But I forgot what she said.
Yeah. That's the only other thing that I could probably do for my body and my pain is I can stay on like an anti-inflammatory diet.
Mm-hmm. What does that consist of, though?
I don't know. I used to know, but
it changes all the time, I bet. Every time you look on the internet, what's an anti-inflammatory diet?
Yeah.
The thing that was not on it that time that you looked is on it now. And then you do it in 2 years, that thing's going to be off again?
Yeah. So I don't cook that much anymore because it is just me too. Like I'm like, and 2, I need to find pleasure somewhere. Like I do all the other things. Like
I agree.
Even when I don't want to, like sometimes I'm going to go to get like Five Guys, or I eat pretty clean, but some days I'm just going to eat like shit.
Some days I'm going to eat like shit. Some days I do order Wendy's. Some days I do order fucking Applebee's. I don't care. You can knock me for it. I don't care. Yeah. That steak is okay, but it's better there than to have it delivered.
Oh, yeah.
They're, what's it called? Fettuccine chicken Alfredo. That's actually surprisingly good.
Oh, I haven't had that
Surprisingly good.
I did have my first cheesesteak from the cheese shop the other day.
How was?
It was delicious.
Good.
I was like, oh, I will definitely have this again.
Nice. Have you been to that hot dog joint?
No, I have not. I heard it was overpriced.
Yeah, it's a $12 hot dog.
$12 for a hot dog?
But people pay that at the ballpark, so.
I was going to say, I don't know if it probably.
That's at AT&T? Well, not at the A's game. Come on, I think that's an $8 hot dog. In San Francisco, I'm sure it's $12.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Craig was saying this. He said, why can't you just buy a pack of 8 hot dogs, a pack of buns, and make that at home? Instead of paying the $12, you could use that $12 to buy the buns, hot dogs, and probably a couple cans of chili. Yep. It's true. That whole thing would run you about $14.
Right. And you'd eat for
3 days.
Yeah.
If you're going to have chili dogs all day.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of A&W in Detroit, and I don't know what they do to their chili, but it's really good. Well, back then.
Yeah.
It was super good. And then having that root beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I used to get a hot dog and a root beer from the A&W on the Cape.
Right on. That stuff. And the curly fries too. Did you get the curly fries? That stuff was sinfully good.
Yeah.
A&W. I'm still a fan.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of Dairy Queen's cheeseburgers.
Me too.
They were really good.
Me too. I had their Dairy Queen was best. I was into them for their chocolate shakes.
Oh, I like their peanut butter thing.
Oh my God, that thing is wrong. I tried it once. I was walking on the ceiling. I had to get that shit up.
Oh, you put peanut butter on anything, and I will eat
I
it.
hear you.
My cousin
Keep it clean, young lady.
Never. You met me. My mind's always in the gutter. My cousin works for an ice cream place in Boston, and they have this stuff. It's liquid peanut butter, and it is the most delicious stuff ever. And she gave me one for Christmas one year, like a 10-pound jar.
What's the consistency?
It's like almost a consistency of hot fudge.
Really?
Yep, but it's peanut butter.
So you would take a spoon and just pour it in, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That sounds
vanilla
wrong.
ice cream with just
God,
it's so delicious.
That sounds wrong. That is
I will
wrong.
bring you some home when I go back there.
That is wrong. Bring me a refrigerator magnet too.
All right.
Even if it's a Patriots one. Did you know I have loved the New England Patriots since 1976?
No, how does a guy from Detroit fall in love with the Patriots?
Okay, did you just answer your question with that question?
No, I didn't.
Detroit Lions suck.
Oh.
They fucking suck. Why do they suck? Because the owners don't give a shit about that team because it's a tax write-off for them. The owners are the William Clay Fords of Ford Motor Company.
Oh.
They had Billy Sims. That dude was a great running back, but they didn't get him anybody to help. He quit the NFL after he left that team.
Oh, wow.
They had Barry fucking Sanders, arguably one of the best running backs ever to play the game. They didn't get him any help, and he one day said, I'm out. He took back a signing bonus of $5 million or something like that. Just left a check in an envelope for it. Take this, I'm out of here. He never played in the NFL again.
Wow.
Megatron, I forget his name. He was a great wide receiver. The dude could catch any ball within a 5-yard radius of his body. 7 years with the Detroit Lions. He quit the NFL after he left that team.
Wow.
The Detroit Lions suck so bad that the champions who played there, who could have gone to any other team and been successful, got a ring? Nope. Only Matthew Stafford is the one. That's why when he won the Super Bowl with his crappy play, people in Detroit and other Detroit Lions were cheering him on. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
NFL team players rooting for a guy who used to play on their team to win the Super Bowl? I've never heard of that. But he's the only one who made it out and didn't quit the NFL. And the next year he got a ring.
Wow.
So why the Patriots? Because in 1975, they were 3-11. In 1976, they were 11-3. And I love the color red. And I love drawing that helmet back when Pat Patriot was on it.
Yep.
And I've been following them ever since. People give me shit about that. Everybody in Detroit either like the Steelers or the Cowboys back in the 70s and 80s and some of the 90s. But when they finally started winning,
Yeah.
oh yeah. My cousin called me when they beat the shit out of the Atlanta Falcons in that Super Bowl. He said, I know you still like the Patriots because I was posting pictures of me in my Patriots gear. He said, it finally happened, huh? I'm like, dude, this is number 5, baby.
Yeah.
This guy can't be stopped. He was like, you have always loved the Patriots, even when we were kids. He remembered. It was so funny.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was so funny.
Cool.
So when I meet Patriots fans, right on.
Party.
Yeah.
I used to be so into football, and I would my grandmother got me into it. My cousins all played it. I was a cheerleader. I had a really tight spiral as a kid.
Nice.
I wanted to play, but my dad wouldn't let me.
Because girls.
And so I would watch games all the time though. And I knew players, I knew everything. And then I just kind of fell out of it.
What year? Don't say the year Brady left.
No. Let's see. What was it? 2006 was when they lost the
to the Giants, right?
The Super Bowl in Arizona.
Was that was to the Giants, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh shit, that was that perfect year.
Yeah.
That was to the Giants.
Yep.
Yeah.
So not that year.
Yeah.
The next year, because I was fully in that they were going to win it all. The next year, so probably 2008, probably.
Okay.
Same year I felt. That's where it is.
Everything changed. Yeah.
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 It was after my accident.
It's hard to appreciate the NFL for what it could be because of what they did to Kaepernick and what and what they did to this coach, Brian Flores, and the Dolphins. Interestingly enough, that dude leaves that team, and the Dolphins are now a winning team. Sad. The AFC East is a mess. What was I saying? Why can't I get back into the NFL? Oh, the racism shit.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with the NBA. Most professional sports in this country. How come women's soccer players can't, who are winning way more than the men's soccer team, can't get equal pay?
Right.
Okay, Bill Burr has a joke about it because you're not putting enough butts in the seats. You can't pay them if they're not bringing enough people. Why aren't you bringing enough people? You're not marketing this stuff right.
Right.
I mean, he's got a point. Isn't he from Boston too?
Yes, he is.
Do you think he was funnier when he had more hair? I like that guy.
I like him. People from Boston, there's just like an attitude that I really enjoy. It's like the no bullshit part.
Yeah. Same in Detroit.
Yeah.
Same in Oakland. Yeah.
Well, it's it's the blue collar hard workers
That's right. They don't give a shit because they've had cars fall in their hands. So what can you say that can fuck them up?
Right.
Yeah.
They're like no hard things. So
right. They know
regular
hard
life
shit.
Doesn't get the same reaction.
So funny. That is funny. Why is this thing annoying me? Get out of here.
I don't know.
I like also how it ticks. How did you get that out?
You pull this part down.
Oh. We're talking about a screwdriver, kids.
Just in case.
Just in case.
I like that sound too.
Yes, it's very relaxing.
A little ASMR for people. Here is a screwdriver.
Oh my God.
Does that do anything for you, the ASMR?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, if anything, it's kind of a noise.
Yeah.
When they talk like this, or they open the bag real quiet. What are you doing?
Right.
I don't know. Well, everybody's got a kink, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
And there's like a physiological thing that happens for some people, and they that's you either have it or you don't, or it might be like genetic or something. People were just talking about it the other day, but I couldn't listen to it because they kept dropping in and out of the ASMR thing, and that was annoying me too.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather hear some music to chill me out.
Yeah.
At one point, I was watching some star do it, and I'm like, this feels like the beginning of the grading of nails on a chalkboard. Oh. But I was watching through YouTube, and I didn't use my earbuds or anything like that, so just whatever.
But just the thought of that sound makes me cringe.
Cringy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you think, Mama? We're wrapped up?
I think so. I think we're definitely going to do a link to your sale for all your collectibles.
Okay, give me a couple weeks with that stuff.
Yeah.
I should have do it soon because Christmas is, 2 weeks away?
Yeah, 2.5.
20 days away.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But thanks for sharing with us.
Thank you.
All right. Find your joy.
Always.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode with Kirkland and I. I hope you enjoyed our conversation, and he will be back to talk more about his art, his style, how he got into trivia, and I'm sure more about race and relationships too. That's one of our favorite topics when we're hanging out. Please go and rate and review and subscribe to the pod. Leave us a review, as long as you liked it. If you don't, keep that shit to yourself. And I will catch you next week with another great conversation from a friend or stranger. Remember to find your joy and have a great holiday. Love y'all.